right? Shalom, this is GMS Louisiana Saints, the New Orleans camp with another pre-camp lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh.
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe, may you brothers and there until the end. And with this pre-camp lesson, we're just going to continue with the judgments to come for you two-thirds of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true children of Israel. As you can see, days are getting darker, coming into that dark winter. You're having all these different calamities of Jacob's trouble. They speak of the devil. Two-thirds of us is going to get put to death. A whole bottle. But hey, that's the time we're on. Jake still walking around out here, hoping that Biden's going to build back better. That's not the case. As you can clearly see, these different judgments from Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai on two-thirds of the nation of Israel, being hard-headed and refusing to come to your power, are all those pieces are starting to come together. You've got what, the supply chain disruption, which is going to lead to famines among other shortages. You've got talks of fuel shortages coming, which if you live in colder climates, it's looking like it's going to be a dark winter. You've got these racial tensions building up, these seditious civil war tensions building up. Hey, Jake's going to get sent to martial law camps. Families are about to get broken up. All these calamities are about to hit. And you can't say you didn't hear this word, because as it says in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20, wisdom crieth without. She crieth in the chief places of concourse, saying, how long will you simple ones remain simple? And that's the mouthpiece of the men of the Lord. The prophets of the Most High out here preaching this word, asking you, how long will you simple remain simple? But as we can clearly see, Jake's not going to get it until it's too late. And that's the story of Jake. Jake not getting it until his ass is on the line. But this time your ass is going to not get pulled out of the fire. It's going to get burned in the fire.
This Jeremiah 9:21. For death is come up into our windows, and is entered into our palaces, to cut off the children from without and the young men from the streets.
Hey, death is coming in you Jake's windows. Again, you can see all these different signs. This dark, cloudy storm brewing, coming up into your windows to cut off the young men, the young children, hey, the women as well, and the old people. All the calamities of Jacob's trouble, the race wars, the famines, death, destruction, cannibalism, and ultimately one of those 200 million nuclear-tipped ICBMs if you survive all those calamities.
Hey, that is no more than a purification, man. It's a purification process. Sometimes that is needed, man.
Because what comes
with
the
balance.
What comes with it? That rebirth.
Life,
yeah.
The only way to get life over here, if you're not serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, is through death. That's the only other way to get life, man. All right, that's a blessing for Jake who get that on this side. Rather, starve and eat his own flesh, or eat, the flesh of his, children, or his own arm, his dog, right? That's a blessing for Jake to die. If you die from what they call it, a little in your sleep, or whatever you, even a bullet to the head. Yeah. Any death right now is mercy. That is mercy. All right,
especially before JT really kicks off. Hey, we always talk about this.
Yeah.
Jakes that die before all hell breaks loose. The Most High was really having mercy on you.
Yeah, you got
big mercy on you.
Come on, you got looked out. It says, "Speak thus, said the Lord, Yahweh, even the carcasses of men shall fall as dung upon the open field, and as the handful after the harvestman, and none shall gather them."
Hey, like it says in Jeremiah chapter 25 and 2nd Esdras chapter 16, and the slain of the Lord shall be from one end of the earth even unto the other. They shall be as dung upon the ground. You're about to see a mass death, destruction, and so many dead bodies laying on the ground that you're going to become so numb to it that you're not going to give a second thought and just big step right over it. That's the times we're coming into. And a lot of them dead bodies are going to be the dead bodies of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, some of the most horrific ways possible. Dying of pestilences, dying of starvation, and getting killed by animals. Your body's just laying on the ground with the dog eating your guts out, or a crow picking your eyes out. It's about to get bucking nasty out here.
They threshing the sickle and reap the harvest.
What? Oh, crow. Yeah, crow.
Yeah,
a flock of.
Yeah, that's a sign.
That said that the Lord will bring a great feast with the
Yeah, for the fowls of the air.
Yeah, that goes
is
in
what we're talking
Ezekiel
about.
39.
Yeah, the carcasses of men. The harvest is right, man. You know what the harvest
Hey,
is.
the press is
Fucking
full.
people.
It's
The
ready
press
to
is
burst.
full. Yeah, it's ready. It says, let me jump to 25 and y'all brothers got it. It says, behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. In that order.
Circumcised with the uncircumcised. Hey, everybody's about to get that word.
Yeah.
Hey, you that are cleaved under these other nations, these people out here, and even Jakes that say they know the truth, they know the name. You're still living like an asshole out here. Did you get a precept? We'll get yours, then we'll get that second Ezra chapter 9.
As backing up the brother Kaya, we say Jake's being put to death right now is mercy. This Psalms 99 verse 8. Thou answered them, O Lord, our power. Thou was a power that forgavest them, though thou tookest vengeance of their inventions.
You can break it down now.
I'm saying, yeah, just backing up Kaya, we say Jake's being put to death right now is mercy right now.
Hey, get over, son. Get over a little bit. Slide over a little bit.
Read again.
Psalms 99 verse 8. Thou answered them, O Lord, our power. Thou was a power that forgavest them, though thou tookest vengeance of their inventions.
Hey, he forgave them, though he took vengeance on them. Hey, like we were saying, hey, Jake said get put to death before the calamities of Jacob's trouble really hit. Hey, that's the Most High having peace on, having mercy on you, forgiving you while he took vengeance on you, before he took the big vengeance on you. To where it's just all hell breaking loose out here with these famines, these race wars, these even more deadly pestilences, and ultimately those nuclear missiles. Say, even though they don't need us to talk for them, hey, them Jakes in the spirit world right now, hey, they're at peace and they're praying for us that the elect make it through. Abarat Zabra, that number. But as for you Jakes that are still down here, still scoffing, still talking shit, and still haven't had still around before JT hits, hey, it's not looking good for you. It's going to continue to not look good for you.
Yeah, there's no scoffing in the spirit world. They're in their right mind. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments.
Hey, you 2/3 that are still down here, that didn't get that vengeful mercy, that didn't get that vengeful mercy of the Most High, and are up in the spirit world right now. Those that gotta drink that full cup of Jacob's trouble, as it says, they shall be in pitiful case. And when you're in a pitiful case, you're something to be pitied, because you're in such a low, pathetic state. And that's how a lot of you Jakes are gonna be out here, especially you women. Not get the weaves, the makeup, the STD medication, all that, just completely messed up out here. You men as well. Your stomach's gonna be touching your back. You ain't gonna get that lining in that day, because the barbers, ain't no barbers, ain't no nice clothes, ain't no nothing. You're gonna be the lowest of the low if you don't have the protective hedge of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai over you. And why is that? As it says, because they have abused the ways of the Most High. And have you mainly abused those ways by abusing his men, scoffing on the comment board. You come up to the men of the Lord on the block, talking shit and making everything a game. Hey, the Most High has had all that jotted down, and you're slowly just building up that tab of judgment. Keep going on.
Verse 10. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me.
Hey, the Most High may have given you a job or a car and allowed you to see a video just so you could have an ability to come out to the camp and listen. Have an ability to really get into this word. You may have a job where you get Saturdays off or something. You may have a job to where you can keep your beard or do anything like that. The Most High allowed you to have a roof over your head and an internet connection to try to get this word out to you so you could become more enmeshed in it. But hey, you didn't take heed to it. And the ultimate benefit you've received is, of course, the men of the Lord preaching this word to you, breaking these scriptures down in 144% truth and clarity. But still, you continue to abuse the ways and cast it behind you.
Verse 11. And they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it.
They still in November 6th, 2021, still talking around, scoffing and talking shit and thinking everything's still a joke. Still getting tripped up by the so-called rape doctrine. Just being a complete degenerate out here. What's it saying in the very next verse?
Verse 12. The same must know it after death by pain.
Not death by peace, not death in your sleep, but death by pain. And as it says, I believe in Isaiah, it says, I will bring their torments on them. Hey, in that day, and everything you were scared about on this side for you to be afflicted with, maybe getting attacked by a pack of dogs and eaten by them, or falling off of a building or anything like that, the Most High is going to bring those torments upon you. And that's the just deserts for as I said, when you had to get liberty and place of repentance to hear this word, you despised it, cast it behind you. And the Most High is going to cast you behind him in that day.
I have that.
You had it? Oh, yeah, bring it down.
Isaiah 66:4. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before mine eyes and chose that in which I delighted not.
Hey, when they called, when I called, they did not answer. Hey, they heard this word, had time of liberty, but they despitefully cast it behind them. The Most High is going to bring their torments upon them. Again, rightfully so.
I got one on the comment board from the brother GMS Swift Chariots. Proverbs. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 26. It's of 25. It says, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity, and I will mock when your fear cometh.
Hey,
Get close. No, let him come. Let him go.
Read it again, Akbar.
Proverbs chapter 1, verse 25. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof.
Pause it real quick. Mute it real quick. Just mute it. Hey, that's the Spirit. The Spirit wanted us to pause it and reread the precept, because we just had some poster childs for that Proverbs 1 and 22.
Want me to read it again?
Kind.
This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 25. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will mock, Salakia. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh.
Hey, speaks for itself. Since you didn't take heed to the words of Yahweh by Hisham Yahweh Shai, not only is that vengeance and that judgment gonna compass you and hold and wrap around you like a garment in that day, but the Most High is gonna laugh and mock at you. Not only from the heavens, but hey, his men are gonna laugh and mock at you in that day. Because hey, you're laughing and mocking at us now, so the balance of that would be what? During JT, for us to do the same thing. We were preaching the words and you didn't hear it. Well, now you're going through what we preached you would go through for not hearing it. And hey, all we can do is laugh and mock and scoff at you. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
God, we can actually get that. Yeah, we'll get that Jeremiah 15. We started. You got a quick one, Kyle?
This Proverbs 29:1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy.
He that being often reproved. And hey, y'all have been getting reproved. Hey, beginning with beginning with Abba Bivens back in the late 60s, all the way to the One West days, and through our apostle elders, going on to YouTube, all the way to us today. You've been constantly getting reproved, but Jake's just been waxing worse and worse and hardening his neck. And we always bring up this example. During them first lockdowns, a lot of Jakes have accounts of family members, friends in the world, so-called friends in the world, coming in and be like, what's going on? What's going on? Can I get some answers? And Jake was pretending to get right, trying to supplant. But we saw your true intentions when things started to get back to so-called normal. Jake went back into the world, and a lot of Jakes actually got double worse. So hey, you harden your neck because you were constantly reproved, but what does it say at the end of it at?
It says, he that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy.
So suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. There's going to be no remedy for your death. There's going to be no coming back from it. As it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. That's going to be the same for you, Jakes. There's going to be no remedy for that judgment coming. You're going to have to take it straight to the eyeballs. That judgment's going to be coming so fierce as to be coming out of your nose, your ears, and everything. Okay, you can get yours. Well, actually, you had one first.
Luke 6:25. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep.
Hey, it speaks for itself. Jake's laughing now. We just got past Halloween. We got Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas, which, hey, a lot of y'all ain't gonna have Christmas presents this year due to the supply chain shortage. Jake, it'll be a liquor shortage coming. You got New Year's coming up. Jake's trying to laugh and have a good time, but soon you'll weep. And you're eating and drinking now, but soon you'll thirst and hunger. That's the judgment's coming to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And to precept that, what's it saying in Isaiah 65? My servant shall eat while ye hunger. My servant shall drink while ye thirst. My servant shall rejoice while ye shall lament and cry for the tears that are coming upon you. And we're going through it now just so we can build up that spiritual bank account and be able to eat and drink and have shelter in that day. While you Jakes aren't going through it right now, eating, drinking, being stupid and having a good time, just so in that day you can thirst, hunger, and cry and lament, because all these calamities are going to be coming upon you.
The howl for vexation.
Kind of howl for vexation of spirit. You'll be vexed with no remedy. Oh, you got your
This Isaiah 33:13. It says, "Hear ye that are far off what I have done, and ye that are near acknowledge my might. The sinners in Zion are afraid. Filthiness has surprised the hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with everlasting burners?"
A fearfulness has surprised the hypocrite like a thief in the night. It says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, it's these calamities are gonna come like a thief in the night. If you're paying attention, you can see the things coming here and there, but for a lot of you Jakes out here, it's just gonna just like the first lockdowns and the shit with the situation came like a thief in the night. Jake got completely thrown off course.
They tell you in Job 36:20 that desire not the night when men are cut off in their place, man. You see? And that night goes into what? That time of destruction, that terrifying time, all right? The time where, like you said, it's going that's why Yahweh, the scriptures say that Yahweh shall come as a thief in the night. Why it don't refer to the evening, all right? Because the night is a dark time, all right? It says, desire not the night when men are cut off in a place, right? When they what? In the middle of their wickedness, man. In the midst of their wickedness. When Jake loved it through wickedness, that dark. Now I know it's literal, it's spiritual too, right? Because Jake like to do everything when it's what? It's dark, all right?
And they think they can't be seen.
Yeah, they think they hide, all right?
And also at night, spiritually speaking, at night, what are you doing? You're sleeping.
Sleep.
And the
Yeah.
Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is gonna catch you when you're sleeping.
That's
you
right.
got your pants down.
Yeah.
When Jake's farting in the bed, with his hand on his belt, with his shirt hiked up, and his hand on his belly. And that's when he gonna come down, kick that door open, and drag you by your nappy hair out of your bed. And that fire. That fire is ultimately going into those nuclear missiles, but that fire is also going into these other calamities of Jacob's trouble that you're going to get burned and vexed with. That's right. And we can get into some examples of it in this Jeremiah 15. The nastiness of the scriptures, the bitterness of the scriptures, and the remedy for you Jakes' wickedness.
Jeremiah 15:1. Then said the Most High unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward these people.
And though the prophets stood before them, my mind could not be toward this people. Why? Because you're hard-headed and you're stiff-necked. And when you had that place of repentance and liberty open unto you, you scoffed at the word and cast it behind you. You despisefully abused the word. And you didn't take heed to the prophets, and you just continued to scoff and be a demon.
Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth?
And during JT, when the shit really happens, which again, we saw an appetizer of it during these first lockdowns when things were going down. Jake was asking for questions. Hey, it's gonna be no different during JT. And people watch and they know who you brothers are. So you're gonna have people remember who you are in that day and come up and be like, man, what? They're not even gonna have a King James. They're gonna have a Revised Standard Edition or a Berean Bible. Say it, but they're gonna have just some off. They're gonna have one of those little Bibles that you get on the nightstand. That don't know. Kind, some bullshit. Asking, hey, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Well, here's the answer we're gonna give you.
Whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Most High, such as are for death to death, and such as for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity.
That doesn't sound like anything nice. For the death to the death, dying like a damn dog in these streets, being a piece of dung on the ground. What does it say? And such as for the sword to the sword, and these martial law troops coming around, these mercenaries, National Guard, these United Nations troops, NATO, you name it, coming and just kicking in doors and kicking in asses and throwing you jakes into these camps. To the famine, which speaks for itself. You jakes starving to death out here, and as it says in Isaiah chapter 9, the famines are going to be so bad that a man shall snatch at the flesh on his right hand and not be satisfied, and then snatch at the flesh on his left hand and still not be satisfied. Cannibalism, not just of the other people, but cannibalism of yourself.
And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, said the Most High, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy.
Hey, as I said, hey, also to the captivity, getting thrown in these concentration camps and getting tortured. And hey, the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. These animals out here being rabid and just picking at you and tearing you apart. Another thing we saw during the first lockdowns was what? Since all the people were inside the houses, you saw like wild animals coming out of the woods, just running in the streets. Hey, down on Bourbon Street, you had rats fighting each other. There were like rat wars going on because since you didn't have people going to the bars and throwing out food, the rats didn't have any food to eat. So you would literally see videos of rats clinging at it, going at each other, fighting each other, killing each other. And it's gonna be on a whole nother level this time because, as it says, they're gonna be coming after you people, eating you, and just devouring you. And hey, don't forget about these wild animals in these zoos, these lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my!
These people are animals.
Oh God!
They're gonna behave just like the rats, just like the dogs. It tells you in Isaiah 19, they're gonna be at each other's throats.
And actually, somebody could give me let's see, that's Sirach 39:28. We're down to about 31 real quick. Bottle of shot just to back up the Jeremiah.
This book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them.
Appease the wrath of him that made them in the Most High. And they're going to get that commandment and they're going to execute it with perfectness. As it says, terminate with extreme prejudice.
Hey, the balance to remember when the Lord had to tell the angel to stay his hand. Well, he gonna not let him stay his hand in the end. Coming, he gonna basically be like, keep going, man. All right, that's the death angel. What I'm talking about, that's an account. All right, what is it?
It's in the end of Samuel's and in Chronicles too.
Yeah, Khan is in both of them. Well, the angel for numbering Israel, all right, the Lord judged. That was in that.
Yeah, it was King David numbered Israel.
David numbered Israel, right? And when it says it back in Chronicles, it said that Satan numbered Israel, man. All right, when you look at that, but what happened was he numbered Israel, and the Lord judged him. All right, but this time when he judged Israel for their wickedness and the things that they did in the end, he gonna tell the angel keep going, man. It's gonna be a dead angel unleashed in this day that's just gonna be killing, man. All right, you got it.
Hey, it's gonna stop when those nuclear missiles
That's
are fired to the ends of the earth. That's when it's gonna stop.
That's when it's gonna stop, man.
So don't expect it to stop until you hear that
Anything
whistle,
fire, yeah.
that whistling in the sky, and you see them stars falling from heaven. And,
right.
and even then, if you ain't got beamed up on the chariot, you know it's your ass. Yeah, keep going on.
It's back in Sirach 39, this is verse 29. Fire and hail,
Natural calamities as well, besides man-made calamities.
and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction.
Punishing the wicked to destruction. You heathens, chiefly you Edomites, and 2/3 of the nation of Israel that are clinging unto the wicked, following after your daddy the devil. Keep going on.
They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word.
And as his brother was saying, hey, they're gonna get that commandment, and they're gonna execute it in its perfection, and it's not gonna stop until those nuclear missiles hit.
That's why they holding the four winds of the earth, which goes into the destruction. And once the Lord loose the winds on the earth, the angels gonna cut up, man. All right, it's gonna be like no. You think when the angels were slaying Israel, when he told the angel stay his hand, think about this time. All right, it's about to totally outdo that, man. All right, the angel will walk. Michael. All right, he ain't gonna be down fighting for the children of Israel. Come on, man, it's gonna be next level. Man.
You're gonna have to come down because it be that bad.
I always make this example, and again, of course, I speak as a man saying this. The Lord gonna empty the heavens out. He's just gonna be up there alone, man. All his creations is gonna be down here getting busy, man. He's just gonna be watching it, man. On the left hand side, the right hand side, everybody about to fight, man. All right, it's about to be a big fight. You gotta.
And your favorite one, he's gonna open up his armory.
He gonna open up his armor, which goes into what? This magazine of weapons, man. The Lord about to show off everything. That's why he said the Proverbs 16:4. This day was for what? The day of evil. The day of evil. He about to let it all hang out right here, man.
This is the last day to get down, the last time to get down before
Lord
Israel's in
about to shine.
perfection.
Yes, sir. You gotta go.
There's this is
What's it
Ezekiel.
real quick? What time is it?
6:49.
No, on the video. What time?
27.
27. That works.
All right. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 4. And Yahweh saith unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the heads of the men that sigh and
I
that
got
cry
that.
for all the abominations
Spirit.
done in the midst thereof. That's what we read.
Hey,
That's
the
the spirit.
law.
He got it too.
Hey,
Not all.
hey, three. If you come threes.
Threes understanding.
Hey, and we know that mark is going into the law, that mark of exemption.
Kind.
And what does it say? The mark upon those that sign that cry for the abominations that are done therein, which is exactly what you see the men on this camera doing, as well as the brothers from one end of the earth even unto the other, sighing and crying for these abominations. Hey, preaching to the elect to seal them, and hey, preaching to get the blood off our hands so we can get out of the way of all that smoke that the Most High is about to bring, especially on him.
Kind.
Verse 5. And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite.
And who is he talking to? Those angels, the
Kind.
death angels,
Death angels.
the spirits of vengeance.
Kind.
Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So it's gonna be like the Terminator, like it says in that movie.
Hey, he a freak
Get him
show.
with that Shao Kahn. No, you come loud.
Hey, he a freak show, bro.
Hey, fire's coming. The fire to consume the hypocrites in Israel. But hey, it's like that quote that Kyle Reese said in Terminator. He said, it will not stop. It will not stop. Gotta go.
You won't sleep, you won't rest, you won't stop until you're dead.
Until you're dead. And that's the judgment these angels are coming with. Not gonna stop, eat, take a break, take a Snickers break, or do anything like that until all that judgment comes out and split you right between your eyes to the white meat. As the elder brother says.
Verse 6. Slay utterly, old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark.
Hey, old and young, maids, little children, all that. Hey, old men are gonna get it. Young men, old women, young women, little baby, little children, little babies in the womb. Nobody's gonna be exempt from this judgment because, as it says in Job, whoever perished being innocent, anybody that's gonna get it in that day rightfully deserved it. Just like anybody that gets it right now, you know, a little kid that gets a stray bullet in a gun battle, hey, that was judgment for their past life. And what does it say at the end? And start at the house of the ancients. You boomers out here. You older generation that let down the younger generations. You rightfully deserve it because you definitely dropped the ball.
Yeah, people forget this is the same God that flooded the earth, killed every child on the planet.
8 souls.
Yeah. They were all adults, man. The Lord killed every child on the planet.
He killed all the children.
All of them.
The animals too, everything.
Yep.
Anything that wasn't on the ark was destroyed.
Earthquake, drowning.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
drown children to death, man.
They even drown on fire, the worst too, goddamn.
Yeah.
Drowning. Shit.
You know the little women banging on the ark with the babies. It said the Most High had to bar the doors of the ark because Jake gonna have compassion, but no, the angels hold that down so it couldn't be open. And not just that, but the plagues of Egypt, the death of the firstborn. The Most High did that. The Most High did all the different destructions of these different wars. The 70 AD, World War I, World War II, the atomic bombs, colonization, slavery, all that shit. That was all orchestrated by the Most High. Just as this final judgment, this final fight is going to be orchestrated by the Most High.
The second Esdras 16 and 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
Famine, plague, destruction, it's all sin. It's scourges for amendment. Scourges for amendment of what? For the wickedness you people have been committing. Chiefly 2/3 of the nation of Israel who refuse to hear this word and come back to your power. So again, as I said back in Proverbs chapter 1 around verse 25, he's going to mock and laugh at your calamity in that day. And his men are going to do the exact same thing. And that's really all it is. In a nutshell. Yeah. And that's the beginning, the middle, the end, and the period in a nutshell. So with that, we hope you sincere Akim out there were edified by another pre-camp lesson. And again, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word of truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe, being brothers in there until the end. Shalom.
Shalom.